Today, this last Sunday of Lent, marks the beginning of Holy Week. Today is known in the Church as Palm Sunday or Passion Sunday. As we have journeyed through Lent this year, we have explored the last words of Jesus from the cross. Those words of mercy and longing, cries of sorrow and abandonment, words of belief and trust. This final word is from the Gospel of Luke, and as before, Jesus is quoting from a psalm. At the moment of his death, Jesus says to God, "Into your hands I commend my spirit." The events that led up to this moment may seem to us to be both predictable and inevitable. Predictable because we already know how the story ends. Inevitable because we may think that it was God's intention that Jesus die. For the people there, especially those who gathered on the roadside as Jesus came into Jerusalem for that last week of his life, it was anything but predictable. They had other expectations. As to it being inevitable, while we may find it comforting to think that Jesus' death was God's plan, it is unsettling at the very least to believe that God's best intention for Jesus was a horrifying, excruciating, humiliating death. Perhaps God knew this would happen, but whether God wanted the crucifixion is a different question altogether. Remembering that God's freedom is constrained by the free will God builds into us, we can ask ourselves, what else could have happened had people behaved differently? What if they had not been swayed by fear? What if they had not been prejudiced and angry? What if they had not been influenced by their own desire for power? What if they had had a thirst for justice and grace stronger than their craving to maintain the status quo? But that was not what happened. And so Jesus was hung on a cross to die. We begin today not with Jesus' death, but by recalling Jesus entering Jerusalem on the first day of the week in which he died. Here is the story from Mark 11, verses 7 through 11. Then they brought the colt to Jesus and threw their cloaks on it, and he sat on it. Many people spread their cloaks on the road, and others spread leafy branches that they had cut in the fields. Then those who went ahead and those who followed were shouting, "Hosanna! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the coming kingdom of our ancestor David. Hosanna in the highest heaven." Then he entered Jerusalem and went into the temple, and when he had looked around at everything, as it was already late, he went out to Bethany